Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Expressions of Podcast. This is Season 4, Episode 3. And tonight, my esteemed hosts and myself are going to be talking about cover music. So bands that have covered popular songs by other artists. I think it's going to be an exciting show. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as some other offshoots. But before we get into it, I just want to say hi to my co-hosts here, Aurora, Brian, and Sean, and see what they've been up to. Aurora, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Today is my day off this week, so just hung out in the morning. I got my tattoo touched up with one of my friends, and then I came back here. So I'm excited to get into this.
Perfect. That'd be awesome. Awesome. And Brian, how are you doing tonight?
I'm excited. I'm excited because everything's working for me. I'm using a camera. I have a microphone. Yeah. It's all working. I don't need a second window open for my sound or for my whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, it was an adventure to get this all working. But you know what? I'm a man of modern technical means, so
there you go.
I was able to figure it out. Actually, the what do you call it? What's this chat thing that we use? They helped me.
They helped you. Perfect. The computer geeks helped.
The computer gods helped me out. Yes, from StreamYard. Other than that, wrestling, doing lots of wrestling shooting. I've got some stuff coming up this weekend, and yeah, a lot of fun.
Nice, awesome. And Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm good, dude. I'm just hanging out, man. I'm just doing nothing but sleeping and hanging out. I've got no work, and it hasn't snowed in a bit, so I'm just kind of sitting on my ass as per usual, which is nice. So catching up on some sleep and picking my nose, watching TV shows and all that stuff.
There you go. Now, did anybody watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
No.
Yes.
I did, however, catch the new Deadpool 3 trailer, though.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
I want to see that.
Yeah, hey, wait a minute. How does Brian have a thumbs up? What?
Whoa.
That was interesting.
Did everybody else see
that, right? You saw that, right? No, it was like on his screen there. That was pretty cool.
Was his lava lamp doing some weird projection shit in the background?
Brian, did you not see that, Brian?
No, I just went thumbs up. I don't know.
No, there was actually a thumbs up hovering on your screen. It was like now I'm like
okay. I'm gonna have to watch this back later because
that was just weird. That was weird.
Mark has been listening to too much acid rock.
There might be. Yeah.
It's starting to roll.
I'll finish my Super Bowl piece by I really feel that the real winners of the Super Bowl were the people that did not watch it.
I'd say so.
We watched the movies. I made a steak dinner. It was nice.
The commercials are good, from what I hear.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple of them on TikTok, but my week has been decent. Or I guess a couple of weeks since we've talked. My wife is home, so that's awesome. I get somebody to have some company with. I'm not rattling around in this house by myself with the dogs. So yeah, that's exciting to have her home, and just been working lots. Today was also my day off, and I only worked a half day, so that was that was just the way it works. But it was it's payroll day. People want to get paid, right? So I want to make sure
It's very kind of you to work on your day off so others could get paid, Mark.
That's right. That's right. So, anyways, they're going to get paid, and it's been to my experience that people don't stick around long when you don't pay them.
Although, as they shouldn't.
That's actually not entirely true. I did have a staff member in my last management position that I had the dickens of a time paying. The software would not pay him. So I had to always do like a manual override. So he was actually 2 weeks behind in his pay cycle until the office got it fixed. And he stuck around. I literally had to manually override it every week for him. So
wow. Did you actually get him an office down in the basement? Give him a red stapler?
I didn't. No, he had a black stapler.
Oh, okay.
So I probably completely threw a joke in the wrong direction because I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never watched Office Space?
The guy was working, he wasn't even on the payroll anymore, and it just kind of shoved him in the basement in some sort of closet office.
Okay, so
and
now I'm going to have to watch
steal a stapler and shit. He's like, touch my stapler, I'll burn your house down.
And he ends up burning the place down, which is even better.
Nice. There you go.
That's what happens when you don't pay your employees, Mark.
Yeah, right.
They burn the shit down.
Again, why I worked a half a day on my day off.
There you go. Very good.
I don't want it burned down. Got to save those fish. Yeah, no, it's all good. So yeah, so today we're going to talk about cover songs. So we've got through the ages, there have been a lot of really popular songs for different generations, and modern bands, newer bands are no exception to doing the covers. They like to. A lot of them started doing covers when they formed bands. They started doing cover songs, and a lot of them now, as famous artists, will still throw cover songs or part of a cover song into into even a live show. I remember seeing a video of the Foo Fighters once where Dave Grohl invited a kid up onto stage, and the kid says he knows how to play guitar, and he says to the kid, he says, "What do you know how to play?" And the kid says, "Enter Sandman." So the Foo Fighters broke into Metallica on stage with this kid playing guitar, and it was pretty awesome.
That's what I love about Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, man, it's about music. It's not about him or the band. It's about music, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and he doesn't take himself too seriously, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of the covers too are start with that too, right? There, people not taking themselves really seriously. So I've got I've got a couple of lists going of different things. So obviously there's bands that when you think about a song like from my era, like I mentioned before the show, like the band Sweet had the song Ballroom Blitz. And a lot of bands have covered that, and they do very, very good covers of it. Golden Earring had Radar Love, and that's a song that if you're driving, do not listen to Radar Love and drive unless you're on cruise control. Because your foot will just keep coming down until it meets the firewall, and then there's flashing lights in your rearview mirror. So do not listen to that one. And then one of the iconic ones from a generation before us, Chuck Berry did Johnny B. Good, and that one is one that's covered a lot and covered very well. So that's awesome. And then actually, I'll throw. No, I'll leave my joke for the end. I've got a joke for y'all as well. But
a joke?
I do have
one?
a joke. Yeah.
Only one?
Just only one.
Nah, this is gonna be a boring show. Everybody, turn off right now. There's only one joke for this show.
Fucking laugh. You're only allowed to laugh at once in this show. So,
I'm curious. Covers. I mean, why do people do covers? As a musician, you'd think everybody wants to be an original artist. Everybody, like I'm driving along with Shelly in the car, and she'll sing a little ditty and turn to me and go, "It's an original," because everybody wants to do originals, right? So, what's the appeal of covers? What do you guys think?
I think the appeal of covers is people want to showcase their talent, right? They want to get paid, right? So especially if you're in a band that's like there's a lot of bands that will do weddings and things like that. And nobody wants to hire a band that's gonna for their wedding where everybody's gonna be standing around and not know the music. And they also want to make sure that they can sort of, if you will, police the music so that they know they'll give them like a set list. The band will say, "Here's the songs we know. Pick, we're going to do 3 sets during your wedding. We'll do a set during dinner, which is going to be lighter stuff, and then they'll do that." And then also, if you've got a band that's playing in bars, then quite often the people in the bar want to hear that. They want to hear either that top 40 or that genre of music, whether it be rock and roll or whether it be country music or whatever they've chosen. But they'll draw people in to listen to it. Like there's a lot of bands that have made really good livings actually doing covers. Like there's in Ontario, we've got a couple that are really good. There's Thunderstruck. They're an AC/DC cover band. They're from Ontario. There's not that I would listen to them, but there's a Tragically Hip cover band called the Practically Hip. And I have actually seen them once, and they are very good. Like if you turn your back, close your eyes, they are the Tragically Hip on stage, just without the paycheck. But they do get paid to do this. So they play rib fests and festivals and county fairs and things like that. So they'll, obviously the Murillo Fair can't afford to get AC/DC out, so they get Thunderstruck for a fraction of the price. And that's and they'll only have those covers. But a lot of other bands, that's how, of course, when most musicians start out in their teenage years, early 20s or something, they form a band with their friends and they start playing covers of music.
40 cases later, that's all we did.
Yeah, Weekend Pass. That's what we did.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good name.
Yeah. It was actually. I'll squirrel a little bit here. We were kind of nutty, and the one guitar player, his girlfriend, used to always, when people would look at us sideways because we were being crazy out in public, she'd go, "Oh, don't worry about them. They're out on a weekend pass." and then it just stuck.
Perfect. For us, it was very much the same thing. We drank 40 cases of beer and we named our band. That was about it.
Yeah,
40
perfect.
cases later.
Yeah,
Good old rock and roll. I love cover
old rock and
bands.
roll. Yeah.
I love it. And it's like you say,
Yeah.
you know, you go to a pub or you go somewhere and you hear a band, you want to be familiar with what they're playing. You want to be connected to it, right?
Yeah. I think that because that's what it does. It builds a connection. Now, in modern times, there's a lot of artists that are in modern times. Now, there's a lot of artists that they don't take themselves super seriously, and they will throw their own spin on a cover tune. And some that I've listened to have really got some fame going because they've actually had the artist reach out to them and cover their song with them, so they can sort of do a duet or whatever. So it's really interesting to see what's going on in music, where I think music as a whole has evolved, where the artists aren't taking themselves super seriously anymore and they're having more fun with it. And you're seeing a lot of bands where a lot of the members will have sort of like a side project going, and the other members are cool with that because they know, okay, when we get together, we're going to do the big tour. We're going to have, the 4 of us or the 6 of us get together and we're going to play that music that we made famous, while the guitarist or the singer have their own thing going on the side, just because they can't sit at home while everybody else is having their family time. So they go out on the road maybe as a couple, or they tour with another band or something like that and have a side thing going on.
Creators have to create.
Yeah, and it keeps the music flowing. It keeps the fans with some new music, and it keeps them creating. And of course, we talked at the onset of the show about paychecks, right? So it keeps the paydays coming in.
So, off the top of your heads, can you think of one cover song that you absolutely love, possibly more than the original? Aurora.
Aurora's got it.
One that really sticks out in my head is the Walk Off the Earth cover of Gautier. Somebody that I used to know, where they're all playing the same guitar.
Yeah.
TikTok
an
famous.
amazing. Yeah, that is actually, yeah.
That's how I saw it.
I think they were YouTube was where I first saw it, right? Because it was before TikTok.
That made them, I guess, become a lot more popular than they were. A lot of people discover them that way, and I would say that song, like that version of the song, is better than the original.
I would agree. I would agree. It's way better. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sean, have you heard that one?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't really have TikTok, so I don't think so. I might have missed the boat on that one.
Well, you'd probably know it if you heard it.
Probably, yeah.
I'm just
hard to
share
play
my
on a show like
just
this,
to
though.
show you. It's kind of old. Well, I don't want to say old, but it's not like a recent. Old. It's not a recent
couple of years old
cover. Yeah. You might have seen this visual, where it's like all the people standing around the one guitar.
Yeah.
No, that's the first time I've ever seen that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and
they're quite good.
Yeah, they're very good. They're actually a band from it's either Brampton or Burlington, but they're from Ontario, and they got famous, and they actually went on Ellen DeGeneres' show, played that with their one guitar, and then at the end of the show, Ellen gave them all their own guitars.
That's funny.
So that they could afford to not have to play the same guitar.
That's funny.
But yeah, they're quite talented, and they are actually. I've got one of my lists here is bands that are at the top of the cover game, and they are on that list.
Yeah, I would say that they do some really amazing covers, and they put a unique spin on it that really sounds like them.
It is their own style for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. But
good choice.
Sean, I know you're into a little heavier music than Gautier and Walk Off the Earth. So there is also at the top of the cover game is a creator from Norway. His name is Leo Morcioli. Probably easiest to find him if you go on YouTube and search Frog Leap Studios. And you'll find he does a cover version of somebody I used to know. And it is heavy. He does heavy metal covers of popular songs. Like he's done heavy metal versions of Britney Spears' Toxic. He did Taylor Swift Shake It Off, but they're heavy versions and they are well done. So if you like heavy metal and you sort of want to listen to, pop songs and heavy metal, he does them. He does a really great version of Uptown Funk
Yeah.
Interesting.
Andrew showed me quite a few of Leo's songs, and I'm like, wow. It's such a different sound to a pop, like a top 40 kind of song.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's got like he's a recording artist from Norway. He has a band he tours with called Frog Leap, and they do all the covers. But on the covers he plays all of the instruments. So he does the drums, the bass, the guitar, he sings, and he produces it all himself. So he's like a music producer as well. He's got a very nice studio that he's now built. A lot of his early stuff you'll see it sort of in his garage, but now he's got like a beautiful studio. And
good for him.
Yeah. He's doing well. He's actually, as far as I know at the time, and I may be wrong now, but he was the top grossing YouTuber from Norway for a lot of years standing. So, so he's done very well, and he sells his music too. He's got 45 albums of covers that he's done, and
that's an example of somebody who isn't just doing covers. He's created his separate niche using covers.
Yeah.
Right, so it's completely different than just doing a cover song.
Yeah, and they're not all top 40. Like he's got a heavy metal cover of the SpongeBob SquarePants theme.
Yeah. Not interested.
That's something I would fucking listen to.
Oh, see, there you go.
That's brilliant. That's something I would play in the car, like just driving down the street in the summer, all the windows down, just fucking like. Just fucking going ham.
Right. So Sean, what's one song that you like the cover better than the original?
Actually, I only had one that I was going to mention.
All right,
that was
let's go
way
for it.
better than the original.
Yeah.
Do you guys know a band named Dio by chance?
Ronnie Dio?
Ronnie James Dio? D-I-O?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
What's
it is.
the song?
So the original song is Holy Diver.
Yeah.
Which was a great tune. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like for
it's
when
a
it
great
was
tune.
for when it was originally made. But
Yeah.
Another band came and they covered it, and to me that version of the song is way better.
Okay.
The band that covered it was Killswitch Engage.
Okay.
You guys ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. Yeah. Oh my god. They took like the original song and then they fucked it into oblivion. And then it was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I remember I was hanging out with John one day and it was long before Planet Pointless. Long. And we were editing a video or something for skateboarding, and he was like, "Did I ever show you Holy Diver?" And I'm like, "No, why?" So he showed me the original. I was like, you know what? I'm not really the biggest fan of it, but I mean, like, I kind of see where people would like it. And then he showed me the Killswitch cover, and I was like, give me more of this, please. I just funnel my brain, my peanut-sized brain, with all of this shit, please.
Yeah, because Killswitch made it a lot heavier. Right, Killswitch engaged it up, right, and they did a good cover of it. There's another band that did a cover of that. Again, a lot of covers started to do originals. A band called Lilac, and they're actually a band of brothers and sisters, and it's a female singer, and her voice is just amazing. So it's very close to the Dio version musically, but the vocals are just elevated a little higher. So it's really cool. But I love that you picked that song.
Awesome. Dude, I still listen to it to this day. Like it comes up on like in my Spotify playlist every now and then. Like if I'm in that mood where I just want to beat someone up, which I can't because I have noodle arms. But and I'm also a giant pussy, but that's okay. So
there you go.
It's one of those.
You're very self-aware. I like that.
Hey man, self-deprecation is funny sometimes, but it's only to a certain limit.
True.
But no, like whenever that song comes on, like I fucking dial it to 11, and it gets me fucking going, man. There's something about it that's just, it's so much better than the original. Like, hey, no offense to Dio or nothing, right? But like, like they knocked that one right out the fucking park.
I made a note. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure I've heard it before, but I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
It's so good. Just like his singing, like it's just it makes it so much better. And then like the hard like instrumentals like over top of it, it's just like, man, like you put it on repeat easily.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Brian, what about you? What's your one song?
I could fill this whole show with songs. I mean, I did do a little research, and song after song after song after song just kept coming up. Yeah. Like I'm looking at best covers. I'm looking at worst covers. I'm looking at samples, like songs that sampled other songs and just used bits of them. But as far as best covers, I don't know, man. One of them that really kind of sticks out of my mind, which is actually talked about as one of the worst covers, which I kind of like it, is the Marilyn Manson cover of Sweet Dreams.
Chris and I talked about that today.
The way I was first introduced to it was from House on Haunted Hill when they used that in that movie.
Yeah.
Was it 13 Ghosts or House on Haunted? One of those.
I think it was House on Haunted Hill. I think you're right.
Just the way that they used the song and the creepiness of it, and just I'm listening to it start, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this song. And sure enough, it's Sweet Dreams, and it was just awesome. I loved it. That was a fun one. Other than that, Land of Confusion.
I was gonna say that one too. You son of a gun.
Disturbed.
That's on my list as well. Disturbed. Yeah. They did a really good version, and the Genesis version is very good.
It is, and that's the thing that gets me is it's so good. And hearing this the redo, it's like I'm listening to the original and I'm hearing it as though it's the remake. You know what I mean? Like I'm waiting for it to sound like the Disturbed version now.
Yeah.
They both are very good, but the Disturbed is just more of an edge to it.
I don't know. I think I prefer the Genesis version, like the original version that Genesis made over the I love Disturbed, don't get me wrong, but like there's something about Phil Collins, man. His bald ass fucking head, like there's something about him. He's just like the way that that song was like, made and the way that it like when it came out, it was like this huge thing, whatever. But like there's something about it. The Genesis version like was so much better than Disturbed.
Well, the Disturbed version of Sounds of Silence, on the other hand, did not like it.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting because I liked it better because I didn't like the song to start with. Sound of Silence, Simon and Garfunkel, was okay.
See, that's the song that I used to listen to a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
Them, a lot of a cappella music. What's the heck? Blanking on their name. Manhattan Transfer. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Love that kind of stuff. So when I heard the Disturbed version, I was like,
I get that. Although now Disturbed did just drop a new song, and I've got the note here. It is called "Don't Tell Me," and it features Ann Wilson as the duet. So from Heart. So Ann Wilson from Heart is the other singer. So that is awesome, and they do a very, very good job at it. So, but it's interesting how that song "Sound of Silence" is on one of my top lists, and it's on Brian's bottom. So, but yeah, that's how it works, right? It'd be very boring if we were all the same.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think Brian has just frozen on us.
It's happened already once earlier. I noticed that.
Yeah, I did notice his video went kind of funny. It's because he was bragging about everything working right?
He's like, everything's finally working, and now it's all crapping the fuck out.
Karma walked up, tapped him on the shoulder, and went, "Fuck you." He's probably sitting there going, guys, can you hear me? Guys.
He's like testicles, 1, 2. Oh, there he goes. He's gone now.
We've lost him there. So, but yeah, it's interesting that Disturbed was one of the three that I had picked. So now the actual the song that I had picked for the cover that I actually quite liked the original as well was an Elton John song. So Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. It's a great tune. Like Elton John just rocks it out, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but Nickelback does a cover of it with Kid Rock, and it is just a banger. Like I'm cruising my Trans Am, and I got that subwoofer going, da 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 da, and then boom, and it hits, and like it's just awesome, right? It's just one of those tunes again.
This is so funny because that's again one that's on my worst. That Nickelback version. I was listening to it and I could not handle it. And what I did like though was, I don't know if you know, but Dimebag Darrell did the guitar solo in that song.
Yeah, I did
from Pantera.
Yeah,
and from what I read, apparently that's like the best part of the song.
It is.
So I listened to the whole thing, and I agree. I think the guitar solo in that song is probably the best part of it. But
and we'll excuse that he was using a Dean guitar. That was just the deal they had. But
but Elton John. On the Elton John comment, though, they've done a lot of there have been a lot of covers with Elton John recently. I don't know if you've heard "Hold Me Close" with Britney Spears and Elton John.
Okay.
If you haven't, don't.
Okay. Nice.
Because it's Britney Spears and Elton John. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. And then the Elton John and Dua Lipa song, they did "Cold Heart" together.
Okay. Yeah.
That one wasn't too bad. That wasn't so bad. Okay, I don't know if we're still on the same topic, or if we can go to something.
I've got another one. My bonus track.
Okay, go for it.
Because I had picked 3, so we've already talked about Disturbed and we've talked about Elton John. But actually, to finish the Elton John, the cover I found of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is a band called Flotsam and Jetsam, and they're a heavy band. Sean, you would probably like them. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. But they do a cover of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, and I just did not like it. It sounded muddy. I think it's probably. I'm not a huge I love music, but I don't know the key. I think it's probably in the wrong. It's probably like in a minor key, so it's not as upbeat sounding to me. Like it sounds more dronish, and I don't think they did a really great cover. But they do have Flotsam and Jetsam does have some really great songs if you like it on the heavier side. So to round that one out. But my last one that I had picked, and I'm torn. I'm absolutely torn because I like the cover as equally as I like the original. I can listen to either one of them and I rock out just the same for both of them. And the song is Stone Cold Crazy by Queen.
Oh.
And it is just a rocker. If you haven't heard the song by Queen, listen to it. Do yourself a favor, listen to it. But the cover is by Metallica. And I am just as enamored with the cover as I am with the original. And I've got both of them are in my playlist. And I love both versions of it. So it's that's a great one.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you guys think are the worst.
That's a tough one. I had another really good one actually I was gonna pull up and I was gonna send it to you guys at some point. Because have you guys ever heard of a band called Trampled by Turtles at all? Like
I've heard of them. I don't know any music about them.
No, but I really want to see somebody get trampled by turtles.
Doesn't happen fast.
I'd really like to see somebody getting trampled by turtles. That would be freaking awesome.
Good Lord. The song that they covered, it was on some fucking thing. They were in like a booth or whatever. It's a video on YouTube, but they did a cover of Arcade Fire's Rebellion.
Slowly.
That I remember John showed me that again, and a lot of my I hate to fucking say it, but a lot of my music taste comes from John.
John, if you're listening, shit. It's your fault. John.
It is. It's your fault that I'm a big critic on music now, and
we're thankful for it.
Shit, it's fucking brutal. he trained me to be one of those guys that, like, if I see somebody wearing a band shirt, I'm like, name 3 songs.
Yeah. Oh, he's a gatekeeper. He's the gatekeeper.
He was in the beginning.
That's a whole episode.
He's way past that now. But like when I first met him, I remember I bought a Slayer T-shirt, and he goes, "Name 3 songs that aren't Raining Blood and Angel of Death," and I was like, easy. I gave him like half of an album, and he's like, "All right, fine, I guess."
You're allowed.
Awesome.
But no, John showed me this like a while back, and it was great. It was the first time I ever heard "Trampled by Turtles," and it was brilliant. I was like, I've never heard this song by Arcade Fire, nor do I like them at all. But like the fact that they went in there and they had the mandolin, the banjo, all this other shit, I'm like, dude, this is fucking good. Like it's good. It's a good tune, and the fact that they just they got in the studio, like, yeah, we'll play this one, fuck it, right? And they knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah,
Arcade Fire is one of those bands that I knew somebody who really liked them, so I refused to listen to them. You know,
somebody you had a difference with, so you're like, yep, not listening.
Yep. Somebody who I don't think of as fondly anymore. Yeah.
Perfect. All right,
I can tell y'all later.
So what are some of your worst covers? So Roy, do you have a worst cover?
Honestly, I didn't think of worst covers too much, but one thing
you're so positive all the time.
What?
You gotta be less positive.
Yeah,
have that negative streak, Aurora. Come on.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I feel like there's a lot of them out there for sure. I didn't really think of it too much, but I don't know if you guys have seen videos online of people doing AI, like using AI to do covers of songs with like weird character voices. Andrew's shown me a couple because he watches this funny, like, basically this channel where this drummer drums over songs that he doesn't know what they're going to be. when he does it, and then it's like his reaction of like how weird the song is.
Okay.
And he showed me this cover of already not a great song, the Peaches song from.
Is that the Dead Presidents of
The
America?
Presidency of the United States of America.
Presidents
No. Like it's called Peaches. From the Super Mario movie, and it's Bowser singing about his love for Princess Peach, and it's just this most repetitive, like weird, awful song. Jack Black is actually the guy who plays Bowser, and he actually sings the song. But there's a version of this song that is sung by, I think it's Plankton from SpongeBob. And it just sounds so like,
what universe am I in?
Worse. This is what AI
you're saying.
is.
Words. I have no idea what you're even talking about.
This is, and sadly,
Plankton,
I know
from what?
I know who that is, and I don't watch the show.
Oh God, I'm old.
I didn't even really watch the show either, but it's just an already not the greatest song. It's very meme, like it's a very memey song. And then they take, like another weird voice and you get them singing that. It's weird. AI covers would be my answer. Just anything AI cover is
I'm going to agree with that.
Absurd.
Yeah. I found a guy on TikTok that sings covers with an acoustic guitar, but the voice that he uses to sing them is Eric Cartman from South Park.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he's actually he's really good.
Eric Cartman doing "Come Sail Away" is pretty epic.
Yeah. All right.
That actually wouldn't be that bad.
So, Brian, worst?
It's pretty good. Okay, so the worst for me is Miley Cyrus doing "Smells Like Teen Spirit" from
100%.
Nirvana.
100%.
That was a bad cover.
Mind you, there's several.
I don't think I heard that
copies.
cover, and I'm glad I haven't heard that.
"Smells Like Teen Spirit's been covered by. It's awful. It's been covered by the wrong people. There's another one called "Take That," a band called "Take That" that did it.
Okay.
And I don't even know what they're thinking. A prefab boy band playing Nirvana. Like,
yeah, that's a music executive that thought he could have the next NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. Yeah.
Yeah, but just seeing Miley Cyrus sing that song was painful. So that would be my number one. For sure.
And Sean, do you have one?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of like all the terrible fucking cover songs that I've heard. Off the top of my head right this second, I can't think of one.
Right.
I would have to consult the Book of John.
There you go.
I've got something else, so I just want to go into a little bit. I want to give like a Hall of Fame mention for bad covers to Britney Spears.
Oh, okay.
I'd just like to say that I can't get no satisfaction. I love rock and roll, and any other cover she's ever done should just be erased from the history books.
That's fair.
That's just my 2 cents, and I'm going to shut up now.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. We'll make a note.
Thank you. Hall of Fame.
All right. So I have the all-time worst cover of a song by the most unlikely of people, and the original song, and I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, was not even that great of a song to begin with.
Don't tell me it's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
It was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and the artist that covered it
was
William Shatner. And it's on an album called The Transformed Man. William Shatner, the captain from Star Trek, the original TV series,
awful,
did a cover.
Fucking
wasn't it almost like spoken word?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's kind of like spoken word cover.
It is so bad, and it's like a train wreck. You want to stop listening to it, but you can't. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty god awful.
Yeah, it's bad.
William Shatner should not ever have been
really
recorded.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was a bad one for sure. It was really, really bad.
How did I know you were going to go there, too?
Yeah.
So bad.
In Brian's head right now, he's like, this is why we can never stop being friends.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It's too bad you live 14 hours that way.
I know. Hey, that wasn't my choice. It's like I told my mother when she moved to Florida, I'm not traveling to Florida because I didn't choose to go there.
What about songs that you guys didn't realize were covers?
Ooh, good.
Did you guys think of that?
Good one. Good
Because
Yes.
one I didn't realize was a cover was Red Wine.
Yeah, Red Wine, UB40.
Yeah, I didn't
Neil
realize that
Diamond.
was the cover. And I was like, wow, what? When I was doing research for this, I'm like, I didn't even realize that.
And I think Bob Marley did a cover of "I Shot the Sheriff," and it was originally Cream.
I don't even know if I've heard the original.
Yeah, and then who else?
Aretha Franklin doing Respect.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin.
That was Otis Redding.
So we talked about Slade earlier with "Come Away" and
Love
"Come
that
and Feel the
song.
Noise." Yeah. So
Slade had a lot of great songs, and nobody really knows much about. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but they're not as popular as they should be. There were a lot of covers of Slade songs that went really big, and poor Slade never really got out of Ireland. I think they're from.
Yeah, that was it. And it's funny, even like Metallica did some covers of songs that people didn't realize were like the song "Am I Evil" wasn't a Metallica song; it was Diamond Head. And people don't realize that one. I mean, that's probably one that maybe Sean and I are the only ones that would know the song. I know Brian, you would hear them. So, but so there's a lot of them. And then even a band like Motley Crue, I think it was their third album, did "Smoking in the Boys' Room," and everybody thought it was an original, and it's done originally by Brownsville Station. So it was one of those covers that got very popular because Motley Crue covered it. But
how about you mentioned Slade? Quiet Riot did "Come On Feel the Noise."
Yeah.
Nobody even thinks that's a Slade song. How about "Last Kiss" from Pearl Jam? That's a cover.
Was that? Oh, that was the one from the 50s, though.
Where can my baby be? Yeah, I'm not going to sing "Ever Again."
I can't remember who the original band was.
I didn't know that was a cover either.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that one was a cover. I hear that on the radio nowadays, and I'm like, man, this is fucking garbage. It's fucking trash. I hate it.
I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. So, and sometimes the cover is just like I said. When I heard the cover of "These Dreams," I was like, it's kind of grown on me. But yeah, it's still something that I didn't really think of as a cover. Like that was. I didn't think it was as done well by Marilyn Manson as it could have been, but it was done by Marilyn Manson in his style, so that was good. Like I said, Marilyn Manson song, he did good.
That's also kind of one of those songs that most people call it one of the worst covers, right? So it's not really universally loved, I guess. How about La Bamba? La Bamba, Los Lobos redid the remake of it,
which was Richie Valens originally, right? Yeah.
Even "I Love Rock and Roll" from Joan Jett.
Yeah, it was a cover. Yeah,
by the Arrows. Yeah. "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," Cyndi Lauper. That's a cover. Yep, by somebody named Robert Hazard did that one.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Interesting.
A lot of people don't know, like a lot of Elvis Presley songs are actually covers.
I was just going to say that, actually. Yeah.
They're actually stolen covers, but it's stolen from black artists and stuff like that. Yeah.
Rage Against the Machine did "Renegades of Funk." I can't remember who the original was for that, but that was a cover.
And then there are covers that were done with the artists, like Run DMC, "Walk This Way."
Yeah, with Aerosmith. Yeah.
Not only was it a good cover, but it was like groundbreaking, right? It the first song to really meld rap and rock and roll into one song. It was game changing. I remember when that came out and seeing Aerosmith and Run DMC working together. It was like, we can work together. This is so cool.
Yeah, and actually the fun story of that one is Aerosmith's career was pretty much over when Run DMC came along, and they kickstarted it back in and got them out of their drug-addled retirement and got them back out touring. And I think it was after that song, Aerosmith released their Permanent Vacation album. Which was okay.
Actually, hold on. I might have some. Hold on. You said that was the first, Brian, right? Because I think I might be able to tell you that you're wrong on something.
Okay, talk to me. Talk to me, Goose.
So System of a Down did a song with Wu-Tang Clan a while back. Hold on, let me just find it in my playlists. Where's my System of a Down playlist? Here it is. Ha ha ha. It's Shame by System of a Down and the Wu-Tang Clan. So they merge together, and it's like System of a Down, just fucking going balls to the walls, and then Wu-Tang, like there's like Method Man and like Redman and shit in there, and like it's fucking good, very good. My cousin actually showed that to me a while ago, believe it or not, and I was like, this is weird, but it's great.
So the song was originally by Wu-Tang Clan on their 1993 album.
Yep.
1993.
Yeah. When was
When was that? When was that one with
it
80?
It was
something?
in the 80s. Yeah, because
was it in the 80s? Okay, then maybe I was incorrect.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. Walk This Way.
86.
86.
86.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that I am wrong for trying
That's
to
okay.
tell Brian he's wrong.
That's all right. It's okay. What's funny is when Run DMC and Aerosmith did that song, there were pretty much no other well-known rap groups around.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't even think the group you were talking about was born yet.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
probably.
Because Aerosmith released Permanent Vacation late in August '87, so it was like a year later that they did that.
Yeah, the 80s were a great time. In fact, I did a little research, and I found that if you look up the 80s, right, pick any year in the 80s, and then scroll through every month, what was the top song of that month, and then search who sampled that top song, and you'll find at least 5 songs that were sampling music from that year in the 80s for every song, every month that was out. So I went through 1980 and January, I wrote it down here. January top song was The Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star. I checked that, a dozen copies. February was Pink Floyd, Another Brick in the Wall. Lots of people do that song. Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love in March. Lots of people do that song. April, Blondie, Call Me. Lots of people do that song. Lips Incorporated, Funky Town in May. I mean, you just go on and on and on. And every single top song for the month, you can find everybody has sampled. Which leads me to think that there has never been a better time for music than the 80s. And also, it leads me to think that people are so not really creative anymore because they can't think of their own music to write. They have to take all this old music and do it poorly or sample it or whatever. I get very frustrated. I get very frustrated with it.
Everyone,
because I've been around a while.
Brian's hot take corner.
This is my hot take.
Hot take.
Stop fucking up good music from the 80s.
Right? There you go. But yeah, it's just amazing, right? Because everybody's doing these covers. So, like we already touched on some of the older bands that are doing the covers. So we talked about obviously Leo Morcioli. We talked about Walk Off the Earth, Lilac. I brought up, and they're all bands that started with covers. But now there's a new band that I found them on TikTok, but I also follow them on Instagram as well as YouTube now, and they're called Burn the Jukebox, and they're four young kids. They're I'm going to say, if they're of legal drinking age, they're just. But they are 4 talented young adults, and they do some wicked stuff. And they just take requests. People will post to them. They'll go do Rage Against the Machine, Killing in the Name of, and they'll do a cover of it. And they don't do, because it's a TikTok video that they're doing. They started doing them for, so they don't do them. They don't do the whole song, but they do sort of like the punchy middle part and whatnot. But they're actually out. I think they're out on tour now. That they're doing, but yeah, they're making a name for themselves, and they've also started introducing some original music as well. So that's always that catalyst, that's that springboard.
Oh, actually, you know what? I just thought of something. Hold on. So on the topic, before I don't know, my brain is sidetracked now. On the topic of like bad covers, I don't know if you guys have ever heard "Bold as Love."
Bold as Love.
It was a Jimi Hendrix song, from what I believe.
Okay.
So, from my understanding, I'm pretty sure John Mayer covered it, but it was garbage, in my opinion. But everyone has an opinion. Yeah, everyone's got opinions. They're like assholes and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm. Almost as good as Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Bubbly.
Bleh.
So John Mayer's cover of that song to me was ass. But there's a local band from Newmarket called Cigar Club, and I remember the first show I ever attended that they were part of. One of the songs, like one of the cover songs they did, was "Bold as Love," and they fucking, I don't know why, but like when they initially did it, to me, I thought it was like just as good, if not pretty much better than the original Hendrix song, which is, that's hard to do. Like, that's fucked, because Hendrix was like, he was a magician, that guy.
So he also did covers.
He did a lot of covers, yeah.
All along the Watchtower.
Was a cover, yeah.
It's nuts, man. Like, I mean, Cigar Club fucking, they went ham with that shit. And it was, I was standing there, I was like, man, I know this song, but it's so,
that's
like,
cool.
I would rather just sit here and listen to it here. It's so good.
Do you guys know who wrote the song "Hurt"?
No.
You know, Johnny Cash did it.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
A lot of people think that Trent Reznor did Johnny Cash's song.
Oh.
But really, it was the other way around. So that's one of those songs that's kind of confusing. Who originally wrote it? You know, everybody hears it and thinks Johnny Cash. And you don't think Johnny Cash in his later years doing covers, right? You think of him as doing his own music, which I thought was really cool.
Damn.
Yeah, awesome. That's excellent. And I have one more. Actually, I've got two more cover bands here. There's one called Steve, and then the letter N in quotes, Seagulls. So it's Steven Seagulls, and they're like a bluegrass sort of band, and they use banjos and mandolins and all that, and buckets for drums and whatnot. And they do a lot of covers of rock songs. They do like AC/DC Thunderstruck and whatnot. And they're a fun listen to. They're a lot of fun to listen to as well. And then, believe it or not, there is a Russian Bee Gees cover band.
And a Russian Bee Gees?
Bee Gees, yeah, Russian Bee Gees cover band. They're called the KG Gees. There you go. There's the joke.
That's fucking clever.
But
the KG Gees.
Well, that's so funny.
My friend here would like another cookie because the joke was so bad. All right, you deserved it, buddy. You deserved it.
Good Lord.
People are going to watch this back. I'm going to get a message now. You feed that dog too many cookies. He's 10 pounds. He's good. So he doesn't eat my face while I'm sleeping.
There is one interesting fact that I'd just like to share with everybody. There's a very popular remake of a song right now out in public. It was just played at the Grammys. The Tracy Chapman cover of
Fast Car.
Fast Car, thank you.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that, Luke Combs did the remake of it, and for the first time in history, in 35 years, it is the #1 song. The original Tracy Chapman has hit #1, and because of the remake.
Oh,
so the remake did really well, but when they did the Grammy performance and Tracy Chapman got up there and played, boom, shot to #1, just like that. So after 35 years of a song being released, the original artist hit #1 for the first time with that song, which I think was pretty freaking cool.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Because covers can bring back songs.
They can rejuvenate, they can destroy, they can do everything. I'm a little disappointed though that we haven't got more into songs that sampled other songs.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. Like, and it happened a lot, especially with rap artists and hip hop artists.
In the early '90s, big time. Tic Tac Toe from Kuiper. They took it from Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart. PM Dawn, Set Adrift on Memory Bliss. That was sampled like crazy. Other songs. MC Hammer, Can't Touch This. Rick James, Bitch. Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. That was sampled. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that was Queen Under Pressure. Yeah.
Did you know Ed Sheeran, the Shape of You song, actually took samples from TLC No Scrubs? It was inspired by that.
Really?
Yeah. And Destiny Child's Bootylicious. That was Stevie Nicks' Age of 17 riff. Yeah. Also, Miley Cyrus used that riff. So there's a lot of these samples that you find a lot of people using over and over and over.
Yeah. Do you guys know what the most sampled song is ever?
No. Is it an Elvis song?
No, it's called "Amen, Brother" by the Winstons, and it's like a drum. It's a drum solo, and it's used in over 6,000 songs.
Wow.
When I was doing research for this, I found that was just so interesting. And then I listened to the drum solo, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that. I don't even know how many times I've heard that. But
Wow.
so many different things. It's in like theme songs. It's in like rap songs. It's slowed down, sped up, remixed and stuff like that. And it's kind of crazy how much.
Brian's got the air drums going. He's listening to it now.
You're listening to it right now.
I am.
And you know what I mean. You've heard that song.
Yeah, that's a good song. I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy how something like that.
And it's just a riff. It's just literally a drum beat. A sample.
Just a drum riff, yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing though how it can escalate. Actually, it's funny. I said at the onset of the show, talking about people that had done very well, and even some of the artists had gotten in with them. There's a guy, you'll find him on YouTube. His name is Jairus Johnson, and they've started playing him. And originally, he's got "When the Darkness Comes" is now on Octane. It's in their regular rotation, and he started by doing covers of other bands' songs on his YouTube channel. Because he's like a complete, like, looks like a rock star, and he did a rock cover of a Papa Roach song, and Papa Roach actually did a duet with him on that. They recorded it with him, and that's sort of springboarding his career because he's getting in with all of these other artists and stuff, and they're sort of taking him under his wing, and he's writing his own stuff. But yeah, Jairus Johnson he's quite a talented young fella, and again, I guess he's in L.A. probably, and he's in his mid-20s type of thing.
I like that. I like when you have bands that come out that have like a real old nostalgic feel too.
Yeah.
That sound like old bands.
Yeah.
Like when the Tea Party came out, everybody thought it was the Doors reincarnated, Jim Morrison.
Okay. Yeah.
And now Greta Van Fleet sounds just like Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like Zeppelin. You can't really top though, because like I hate Greta Van Fleet. I fucking hate them. To me, their music sounds so annoying. But like I can listen to Zeppelin like all day long and be like, this is great.
I think they are very different. But everybody, the voice and the feel they compare, right? But I'm with you. Like I can't listen to a whole Greta Van Fleet album, but I've got about 5 Zeppelin albums that I listen to all the time. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a lot of fun stuff, man. There's so many musicians and so many artists out there, and I just love somebody who can actually make something original, though. I love covers, but if you could take a cover and make it original, like I've always wanted to take a Mozart song and make it a rock and roll song. Take Mozart and make it rock and roll. Take some of his riffs and his runs and stuff like that, and incorporate it into. I haven't heard anybody doing stuff like that, and I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I'm
maybe
not sure.
Because it's difficult.
It might be, or you might find roots of it in some songs that you're not recognizing. It's like, have you seen the comedian talking about Pachelbel's Canon in D?
No.
So it's the whole.
I have.
Yeah, so if you I can't remember the name of the comedian's name, but it's I'll Google it so I can tell you. But he talks about the song Pachelbel by D minor.
Rob Paravonian. Rob Paravonian, is that who you're looking for?
Yeah, that's him. The Pachelbel rant. If you listen to him, it's so true how that Pachelbel song is in the roots of so much music, and you may find that there might be some, especially a kid that learned classical guitar because his parents wanted him to, and is now on stage in front of 40,000 people every night, with a screaming electric guitar. You might find that some of those riffs and some of those shapes are in the songs.
Yeah. I mean, there's like you said earlier, Mark, there's a lot of like rap and R&B and stuff like that samples older songs, like 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
70s kind of songs. I mean, there's some really interesting ones that I listened to on my way back home, hearing the samples, and I'm like, oh wow, like I can hear that. I'm listening to this Ray Charles song, "I Got a Woman," and then immediately after, "Gold Digger" starts playing, and I'm like,
Okay.
and it's a sample, like the Ray Charles song was sampled from the was sampled in the Gold Digger song.
Yeah.
And some Stevie Wonder song in really popular, the Gangster's Paradise or Gangsta's Paradise
Coolio.
song. Which, yeah, that song. And I'm like, oh wow, like, and hearing it in a Stevie Wonder song right next to the other one, you're like, oh wow, okay, that's where it came from. Like, well, that's where they took that riff from, or whatever it may be, and it's super recognizable. But they've taken the song and made it something completely different than it was. Obviously not particularly my style of music, but it's interesting to see, like, someone taking, like the backing track or a particular riff or a particular melody from a song and then making something completely different from it.
Yeah, that's still showing skill and talent,
Yes.
while honoring good work from someone before.
Yeah. Another one that you hear in a lot of songs is "Genius of Love" by the Tom Tom Club. It's in so many, Mariah Carey song, more recent Lado song, Ice Cube songs. I mean, like, there's a bunch, E40, Tupac, and it's all sampled from this original Tom Tom Club song. And you when you hear it, when you listen, like if you were to listen to it later, you'll be like, oh, okay, I know that because I've heard it in this song, and this song. It's just interesting.
Hopefully this, if people listen to this episode, they will, reach out a little bit and dig into some older artists and, listen to a song you hear now that you really like, and just search, did this song sample any older music? Right?
Yeah.
And then dig back.
Yeah. And Google is really good for that, because you can even, like, type in, if you want to know, you want to look at Miley Cyrus and what songs of hers were covers, you just type in Miley Cyrus covers, and you can go back and where I'm encouraging you to do is go back and listen to the original.
Oh, okay.
Listen to the original.
Sorry, I should have just shut up and let you finish.
Go listen to "Under Pressure" by Queen and see where Vanilla Ice sampled it. Go listen to the original "Whiskey in the Jar" by Bob Seger. Right? Yeah. Go listen to those songs and appreciate them for what they're. Now, some of them aren't going to be genres, and they're not going to be something that you would particularly like, but you'll hear some definite roots there of the music that you listen to today. There's an interesting artist I found on YouTube. His name is Pete Cottrell. He's a guitarist. Surprise. And what he does is he takes a song and he does it in the style of 10 different artists. So, like, he'll take a popular song and make the guitar riff as if all these different artists had written it, and he's very good. And then the one I watched today was what if Slipknot had written "Enter Sandman," and he Slipknotted it up, and it was awesome. It was
that would be
absolutely
cool.
Awesome, yeah. So
that's just having fun with music right there.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to mention, and this is something that always kind of made me a little worried, I guess, concerned. When people didn't know where that song "Butterfly" came from. Butterfly, come my baby, come my lady, you're my butterfly, sugar baby. That little riff throughout that entire song, that was a Red Hot Chili Peppers tune. Pretty Little Ditty, which is just a little acoustic, or not acoustic, a little instrumental that they did years ago. And this band found it and thought it sounded kind of cool and rolled it into their song. Every time I hear that Butterfly song, I'm just thinking, I have to go back and I have to listen to Pretty Little Ditty again, because it's just such a good little song.
Yeah. That's it. All right.
That's it.
So I think that pretty much rounds it up. We're coming up on about an hour here.
Yep.
Brian, you have something else?
We just have our final thing that we like to say before we say goodnight. our quote or our origin, our expression origin.
Of the week.
Yes. And this week, it is. I'm trying to find where I have my open window where I had the description of it. I gotta find it again. Hang on one second.
I have a weird feeling it's going to be a good one, better than the last week's. I feel like every expression of the week is always better than the last week's.
I don't know. Last week's was pretty bad.
Not really.
So, have you ever heard the expression, it's the cat's ass?
No, but that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cat's ass. It's like the best thing ever. It's just the cat's ass, the bee's knees, right? It's like from back in the day.
Yeah.
So
I've
this
definitely
expression-
heard the bee's knees, but I don't know about the cat's ass.
I've heard the cat's ass before.
I feel like
Yeah,
the
it's
cat's
not
ass would be like a bad thing. Like, that's the cat's ass, you know? Like, it's always just in your face. You don't really want it there.
Well,
You know?
Cat
it
thinks you do.
actually means it's something excellent. It comes from the idea that cats often hold their asses up high. So because cats hold their asses up high, apparently somebody down the line thought that was the greatest and the tastiest thing, and they said they stuck with it. So it's the cat's ass originally comes from the fact that cats used to stick their asses up high, and people were stupid back in the day, and thought that's a good thing. So there you go. It's the cat's ass is our expression of the day.
Awesome.
The tastiest thing. That's something I could never
The tastiest,
unhear.
yeah, that's a word that they actually use. The
There
tastiest.
you go.
What?
Alrighty. And on that epic disappointment, we will end the show. No, seriously, this has been fun. It's been a journey of music. We've had a couple of shows now about music, and I mean, I love music. I've always loved music. There's always music on in the background wherever I am. So music is just a lot of fun. Music is really about discovery. So do yourself a favor and just explore some new music, explore new artists. Go on your Facebook page. If you've got Facebook, go on YouTube, go on Twitter. I don't care. Ask people who their favorite band is. Tell them to give you one song that you can go listen to, and you'll discover some great new music. So,
And if they're wearing a band shirt, tell them to name 3 songs from the band.
no, don't do that. Don't be that gatekeeping asshole. Right? Because sometimes people just like the fucking artwork. Okay.
Sorry, I had to go there.
I know.
I'm gonna get in trouble now. I'm gonna get my
That's
ass
it.
fucking kicked or something.
That's it. You're lucky you're 14 hours away, mister.
Fuck, dude.
But anyways, everyone, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. If you've liked what you've seen, tell your friends about it. Like, subscribe, and come back next week. If you don't like what you see, shut the fuck up. We don't care. We do this for us. We don't do it for anybody else. And if you do enjoy it, please come back. And it's just a lot of fun for us. And it's really an excuse for me to talk to my friends every week. So that's why we do it. Like, subscribe. And I guess that's it for us. Have a great week, everyone. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.
Share. Are you ready for this magic?
Journey is usually the part that you remember anyways. The